When it comes to yard maintenance, what is your least favorite thing to do? If you're like me, it's to deal with the trimmer and the trimmer line. I really enjoy mowing, but trimmer line can be such a hassle at times, especially when you're about 10 feet away from being finished when you suddenly run out. So the question is, which trimmer line offers the most durability? Which type offers the straightest cuts? Which ones offer the best performance overall? There's a lot of different brands out there. We have 8 brands to do some testing on, and it's been a couple years since the last test. So let's get the testing underway and see which brand is now the best. In the first test, we'll measure the tensile strength of the trimmer line. Then we'll see which trimmer line is most likely to become stuck or welded inside the trimmer head after hard use. We'll see which brand cuts through grass-filled test strips the quickest. We'll see which trimmer line survives the longest when it comes in contact with fence. At $7.50 or just 5 cents per foot, the least expensive brand we'll be testing is this Razorback brand Premium Twisted Trimmer Line. Now all the trimmer line we'll be testing is .095 diameter. It claims to be a premium grade professional trimmer line. Flexible and highly resistant to impact. We're going to test that. Reduced chances of line splitting and frailing. Assembled in the United States. The Razorback uses a twisted design and appears to be a 4-sided trimmer cord. Up next, we'll test the tensile strength of the trimmer line. So why this test? As trimmer line comes in contact with solid objects such as fence, brush, or other obstructions, the tensile strength of the trimmer line becomes a huge factor with regard to durability and the trimmer line breaking. The Razorback has a tensile strength of 151 pounds and seems to stretch quite a bit. At $21.89 or 8 cents per foot is this Echo Crossfire. It has 8 cutting edges for fast, clean cuts. According to their website, durable, long-lasting against hard surfaces, designed for aggressive cutting applications, delivers better efficiency and cutting time over standard trimmer line. Echo broke at 151 pounds, the same as the Razorback, but it doesn't seem to stretch quite as much. At $12.95 for 100 feet or 9 cents per foot is this Husqvarna Titanium Force. Professional grade, maximum cutting power, reduces noise level, made in USA. The Husqvarna Titanium is a mostly round trimmer line with grooves spaced about an inch apart. The Husqvarna broke at 156 and takes the lead from the Razorback and Echo. The Husqvarna doesn't seem to stretch as much as the Razorback or the Echo. At $19.43 for 200 feet or just 10 cents per foot is this Maxpower Twisted. Lasts longer, quieter, cuts better. It claims to be commercial grade, made in USA. The aerodynamic design of our twisted trimmer line helps your trimmer work harder using less power. It nearly slices the noise levels in half. The Maxpower is a 4-sided twisted line that has some really sharp edges. The Maxpower Twisted takes the lead from Husqvarna with a very impressive 210 pounds. The amount of line stretch seems to be about the same as Husqvarna. At $22.03 for 200 feet or 11 cents per foot is this Weed Warrior Pulverizer Titanium. Performs with extreme durability. In fact, they claim their durability is best. Made in USA. The Weed Warrior uses a 3-sided design and the sides are rounded instead of sharp like the Maxpower. The Weed Warrior did a terrific job at $206, but that's not enough to take the lead from Maxpower Twisted. At a price of $6.45 or 13 cents per foot is this Oregon Magnum Gator Line Pro Tested, made in USA. Just like the Husqvarna, the Oregon trimmer line is round. The Oregon snapped at 173 pounds and seemed to stretch quite a bit more than most of the other brands. At a price of $17.18 for 125 feet or 14 cents per foot, the second most expensive brand we'll be testing is this Shakespeare Ugly Twist. More level cutting, engineered to last longer. It claims to be their best durability trimmer line, made in USA. The Shakespeare looks a lot like Maxpower but only has 3 sides. The Shakespeare broke at 153 pounds, not nearly enough to take the lead from Maxpower Twisted. At a price of $19.96 for 143 feet or 14 cents per foot is this Stihl brand trimmer line, made in USA. Just like the Oregon line, the Stihl trimmer line is round. Stihl broke at 164 pounds, which is definitely better than Shakespeare Twisted, but not enough to take the lead. So Maxpower Twisted finishes in first at 210, then it's Weed Warrior at 206, Oregon 173, Stihl 164, and Husqvarna at 156 to round out the top 5. Have you ever had trimmer line get stuck inside the spool? In the previous test, some of the trimmer lines stretch quite a bit more than others. As trimmer line stretches, it becomes narrower, which contributes to trimmer line weld. Another factor includes the shape of the trimmer line. In the next test, each trimmer line will be wrapped 9 times around the trimmer head spool. Then we'll apply 130 pounds of force on the trimmer line, which will cause the trimmer line to stretch and then get stuck. We'll then measure how much force is required to free up the stuck trimmer line. And the Razorback claims to be flexible, and it seems to be stretching quite a bit, which could lead to the trimmer line getting stuck. After applying 130 pounds to the trimmer line, I then rerouted the trimmer line back under the trimmer head spool to measure the amount of force required to unspool the trimmer cord. Wow, the Razorback really struggled, requiring 101 pounds to free up the stuck trimmer cord. Testing the Echo next. The Echo trimmer line didn't seem to stretch as much as the Razorback, but the shape could be a factor in this test. And it took 21 pounds to release the Echo trimmer line from the spool, so Echo takes the lead. Testing Husqvarna next. And Husqvarna only needed 10 pounds to release, which is less than half the 21 pounds required to release the Echo trimmer line. Testing Maxpower Twisted next. Maxpower Twisted, which won the tensile strength contest, did very well at only 17 pounds, but that's not nearly enough to beat the Husqvarna. Testing Weed Warrior next. Weed Warrior, which did about the same as Maxpower Twisted on the tensile strength, also did very well in this test at only 15 pounds, which is very good, but not quite enough to beat Husqvarna. Oregon, which feels softer and seems to stretch more than some of the other brands, took 29 pounds to release from the trimmer head spool. Testing Shakespeare next. Shakespeare did a really good job at only 9 pounds, which is 1 pound less than Husqvarna, so Shakespeare moves into the lead. Let's see if Stihl can take the lead from Shakespeare. And the Stihl trimmer line needed 39 pounds to release from the trimmer head spool, which isn't enough to move into the lead. So Shakespeare finishes at 9, Husqvarna in a very close second at 10, Weed Warrior 15, Maxpower Twisted 17, and Echo 21. When it comes to durability, trimmer line loss from abrasive contact with sidewalks, driveways, and other solid surfaces is a huge factor. In the next test, I'll use a belt sander with 40 grit sandpaper. I'll weigh down the trimmer line using a wrench that weighs right at 1 pound or 500 grams, and we'll see which brand lasts the longest. The Razorback, which seems like a really soft trimmer line, lasted 18 seconds. Let's test the Echo brand next. The Echo brand, which also seems pretty soft, isn't able to outperform the Razorback with a 14-second time. Testing Husqvarna next. And the Husqvarna lasted 5 seconds longer than the Razorback and moves into the lead with a 23-second time. Testing the Maxpower Twisted next. And the Maxpower, which performed very well in the tensile and trimmer line weld test, also performed very well at 25 seconds, taking the lead from Husqvarna. Testing Weed Warrior next. And the Weed Warrior, which is tested nearly the same as the Maxpower Twisted in previous tests, once again does very well with a 27-second time and moves into the lead. Testing the Oregon Gator Line next. And the Oregon Gator Line wasn't able to move into the lead with an 18-second time, which is 9 seconds short of the Weed Warrior. Testing Shakespeare. And Shakespeare did a good job by lasting 21 seconds, but that's not good enough to beat the Weed Warrior. Testing Stihl next. And the Stihl trimmer line gave the Weed Warrior a run for its money, lasting 26 seconds, but that's not enough, and Weed Warrior takes the win. The Weed Warrior rates their durability as the best, and it proved to be the best in this test, lasting the longest at 27 seconds. Stihl did terrific at 26 seconds, Maxpower Twisted 25, Husqvarna 23, and Shakespeare 21. We'll test the speed and durability of the trimmer line in the next test. We'll first build test strips by packing foam pipe insulation with 1.5 inches of grass. A single layer of duct tape will wrap from the bottom to the top of the test strip to keep everything together. The trimmer line will easily slice through the tape and the foam insulation, but the tightly packed grass core will really put each brand to the test. I'll use the width of my hand to set the gap space between the trimmer head and the test strip, testing the Razorback first. The Razorback test lasted 6 seconds but wasn't able to cut through the test strip. One of the two trimmer line leads completely broke off and the other trimmer line became too short to reach the test strip. Testing Echo next. Echo definitely did better than the Razorback, but it didn't make it through the test strip. The trimmer line length was 4 inches for each side. Testing Husqvarna. The Husqvarna quickly tore into the test strip, pulling it closer to the trimmer head. The cord cut all the way through the trimmer test strip. The trimmer cord was shortened to 3 3/4 inches. Testing Maxpower next. And the Maxpower Twisted totally destroyed the test strip in only 3.5 seconds. The sharp edges on the trimmer line quickly cut through, and the 210 pounds of tensile strength allowed the trimmer line to stay intact. The trimmer line length was 5 inches and 5.5 inches for the other side. So the Maxpower Twisted takes the lead from Husqvarna, testing the Weed Warrior next. The Weed Warrior cut through the test strip just about as fast as the Maxpower Twisted. The trimmer cord length on both sides was down to 4 inches. So Maxpower Twisted holds on to the lead. Testing Oregon next. The Oregon trimmer line was pretty much used up after 6 seconds and it didn't quite make it all the way through the test strip. The trimmer line length was at 3.5 inches for both sides. Testing Shakespeare next. Shakespeare Twisted quickly lost trimmer cord length, slowing down the process of cutting through the test strip. While it did cut all the way through, the trimmer cord length was only 3.5 inches. Testing Stihl next. And the Stihl trimmer line did a great job cutting through the test strip. The trimmer cord length was at 4.5 inches. Maxpower Twisted came out on top, Stihl came in second, Weed Warrior third, Husqvarna fourth, and Shakespeare fifth. The Razorback, Echo, and Oregon did not successfully cut all the way through the test strip. Hitting a fence destroys trimmer line quickly. In the next test, we'll measure the trimmer line break-off using a single strand of wire and a laser tachometer. The trimmer head is positioned so that the trimmer line extends 1 inch beyond the wire. Testing Razorback first. And the Razorback broke at 2,188 RPM. As soon as the trimmer line cord breaks, you can see a sudden increase in RPM since the trimmer head is no longer being held back by the trimmer cord impacting the wire. Testing the Echo brand next. The Echo did nearly the same as the Razorback, breaking at 2,129 RPM. Testing Husqvarna next. And Husqvarna moves into the lead, breaking at 2,357 RPM, nearly 200 RPM better than the Razorback. Testing Maxpower Twisted next. And Maxpower Twisted takes the lead from Husqvarna, making it to 2,399 RPM. Testing Weed Warrior. The Weed Warrior did very close to the same as Maxpower Twisted, breaking at 2,394 RPM. Maxpower Twisted holds on to the lead. Testing Oregon next. The Oregon broke at 2,075 and couldn't quite take the lead from Maxpower. Testing Shakespeare next. Shakespeare did better than Oregon, Razorback, and Echo with a 2,286 RPM finish, but that's not good enough to move into the lead. Testing Stihl next. Stihl did almost as well as Shakespeare at 2,253 RPM, but that's not enough to take the lead. Maxpower Twisted, with its very impressive tensile strength, came out on top, but the Weed Warrior wasn't far behind. Husqvarna did great with a third place finish, then it was Shakespeare, and finally Stihl to round out the top 5. Since most trimmers are capable of well over 7,000 RPM, none of the trimmer line will survive a wide open throttle impact with wire. When working around fence, keeping the RPM low enough to just cut the grass and below 2,000 RPM will definitely help the trimmer line last longer. After the previous showdown on trimmer line, a lot of viewers suggested testing Twisted trimmer line, and they were right. I'm really surprised at just how well the Maxpower Twisted performed. Weed Warrior also did a great job, and also I still remain pretty impressed with Husqvarna. All my video ideas, including this one, are viewer recommended, so if you have a video idea, I hope you'll take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching, please take care, and I look forward to next time.